Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the current affairs program Viewpoint, reaching you live from the services of Progress Student Television International. I'm Umar Farouk Ahmad, and this morning we are going to be discussing about the Nigeria's Anchor Borrowers program, which was launched in 2015 by former President Muhammadu Buhari, which I believe part of the initiatives of this program was to boost local production of rice by giving out loans to farmers, local farmers, to help them boost the local production of the country in order to attain food security. And the money given to them was given to them as a loan. And so far, about over ₦1 trillion has been disbursed as loans to these farmers. But a shocking revelation is that about 577 billion naira of that loan is yet to be recovered by the CBN. The CBN is the agency that disburses the loan. And now President Bola Tinubu has ordered security agencies to go after the defaulters and make sure that every penny of the 577 billion naira is recovered before or on or before September 18th. That was the directive he gave, and also during the meeting where he gave out that order, it was revealed to the president about 255 million naira of that loan was diverted by a certain commercial bank, which the name was withheld for some reasons. 255 million naira was diverted by a commercial bank, which was supposed to go into the hands of farmers. Today we have with us Dr. Abubakar Sani Abdullahi, who is a lecturer with the federal with Abubakar Tafa with Ahmadu Bello University. Sorry for that. ABU Zari, welcome to the studio.
So thank you very much.
Let's have a brief of the Anchor Borrower program. What's the brief history? What can you tell us about the program?
Okay, taking back to history, part of the priority given by the past administration under the leadership of Muhammadu Buhari was to ensure food security across the country. In order to attain food security, there must be an avenue whereby a loanable fund has to be given to farmers. That is, farmers has to access credit. So Anchor Borrowers program is a program that was launched by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 17th of November 2015. The intent of that program is to create a linkage between anchors, that is the companies or the off-takers, and the smallholder farmers, whereby a certain or a specific target commodities are being chipped in, whereby loanable funds should be provided. So basically the primary aim of this Anchor Borrowers is to provide loans in both cash and canned.
We're off here.
Okay.
Okay. So.
We are Nigerians. We are champions. We are kings. We are Nigerians. There's no height that we can't reach. We are Nigerians. We keep rising to the top. We are Nigerians. We keep soaring in the sky. Nigeria, fly eagles fly to victory. Go Nigeria, go for glory. Go Nigeria, go Nigeria, go Our number one international Progress TV. Your number one international Progress TV. My number one international
back. Sorry for the current transmission. That was due to power failure. And Dr. Abakar, you were telling us about the brief history.
Yeah, so the primary aim for the establishment of this ANCO boroughs, basically the ANCO simply means companies or the off-takers of agricultural commodities, whereby the borrowers are the farmers, especially the small-scale farmers. Going by what is being produced in Nigeria, the government then wanted to encourage smallholder farmers to engage into massive production of agricultural commodities. I know basically almost 20 commodities ranging from rice, maize, sorghum, millet, wheat, and also the livestock industry were catered for when the loan advancement was launched. So the aim of the establishment is to finance smallholder farmers, to support them so that massive food production will be ensured. We are going to attain food security and also encourage local processors to process what we are consuming and what we are exporting outside Nigeria. So going by that, the thought of the government was that by financing smallholder farmers, it is going to discourage importation of most agricultural commodities. So that is the primary aim of the establishment of these ANCO borrowers. It's just to create an economic linkage between the smallholder farmers, that is the producers, and the off-takers, that is company. If a farmer knows that there is an existing market for his own produce, it gives him courage, it gives him confidence to produce. Exactly.
Okay, so how are these loans disbursed? What's the means of accessing it?
First of all, the farmers were formed under cooperative societies. There is what we call the target beneficiaries. Before you become part and parcel of that program, you must come under cooperative society. That was why we have the Maize Farmers Association of Nigeria, we have the RIFAN, that is the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, and other Cotton Farmers Association. So they categorize the farmers into three. We have the small scale farmers, we have the medium scale farmers, and we have the large scale farmers. So if you are a maize farmer, you have to fall under the umbrella of your own union, that is the Maize Farmers Association of Nigeria, and you must be a real farmer, not by proxy. That was why I think part of the major criteria, they had to visit your own field, ensure that there is an existing farmland. Once they observed and measure your farmland, then they go ahead in the advancement of that particular loan. So basically, part of the major criteria is that you have to fall an umbrella of a cooperative society, whether you are a maize farmer or you are a rice farmer or you are a cotton farmer. Then they had to visit your own farmland, take a measurement of the land size. Then after that, you qualified, I think, 60 to 70% of the criteria.
Yeah, so how is it that with all these measures put in place, how is it that the government still has about $500 billion naira that is yet to recover? Like, what's the repayment process and what's the time frame given to the farmers to repay?
Yeah, right from the inception of the program, there were major issues before you advanced any agricultural loan. Taking back to history, African countries, we were designed and developed under two forms of agricultural financing. We have what we call the targeted agricultural financing. We have the market performance approach. Before the advancement of our market performance approach, the first approach emphasized on just advancing farm loan without giving consideration on recovery. There is no how you can advance farm loan without any effective measures to supervise what the farmers are doing with the loan. Then later on at the end you think you are going to recover your loan. It is not going to work out. So that was why the directed agricultural credit approach failed, because emphasis was just given on loan disbursement rather than loan recovery. So later on, the World Bank withdrew from financing all forms of agricultural loan in African countries. A new design came up that emphasizes that whenever a loan is disbursed, an effective measures has to be ensured in place, that you have to ascertain a certain criteria. There must be an eligibility for you to access that loan. If you are assessing loan, you have to refer back to what we call the 3 R's of agricultural credit. That if I were to grant you an agricultural loan, what is the expected return of that loan? That is the return on investment. If I were to advance 1 million naira to a particular group of maize farmers, are they going to use it judiciously? When we invest that 1 million naira on maize production, what is the expected return? I have to know this thing in place. Then there's the second thing that I have to consider, the repayment capacity. Are they up to that task? After production, after processing, after cultivation, after taking it to the market, do they have that repayment will? Then the risk bearing ability. Agriculture is attributed to risk and uncertainties. Is there any provision for insurance cover? Like 2 to 3 years back, the rice farmers and the maize farmers has been experiencing crop losses, whereby there was a heavy downpour or there was a heavy rainfall that got washed away with most farms. So what is the provision of the government in this place to put in place an insurance cover? So whenever you are advancing any agricultural loan, you have to consider these 3 R's. The return on investment, the repayment capacity, and the risk-bearing ability of the borrower.
So about let's take them one after the ROI. I believe there's an interest on this law.
Yeah.
So it's like the government is trying to help the farmers, but it's also wants to help itself.
Yeah. Nigerian farming household have one thing in their mindset, that any agricultural loan given to them is just a national cake. The first area that causes this failure is the criteria for the eligibility
to get the
loan. Okay. That was the major causes. For you to advance such kind of a loan, there has to be scrutiny of records. When you gather the real farmers, when you visit their farms and ensure that they are true farmers, then you think of their capacity. If they are maize farmers or they are millet farmers or they are sorghum farmers, what is their own capacity? After going through all this, then the provision of the inputs. I know when the disbursement of inputs is taking places in our market, normally the inputs came when the season is almost over. At the point where fertilizers are being distributed or agrochemicals are being distributed, buyers from the market are already there. If the farmers are getting that fertilizer at the rate of 10,000 naira based on equity contribution, they will be selling it instantly at the rate of 4,000 to 5,000 naira. Virtually the entire program, 80% of the agricultural input provided by the farmers were sold out in the market instantly. And for you to ensure agricultural production to went or to go smoothly, it is very, very crucial to ensure timely provision of the inputs.
Like,
if the season,
what's the relationship between the time that the inputs were disbursed and the farmers selling them? What's the relationship of the time?
Normally production commences, land clearing and everything commences by April, May. By June, we have started our sowing or planting. By late June or June ending, we have commenced our fertilizer application. But mostly the disbursement of the input is not coming until late July or even in August, where all the applications were made already. So at that point in time, if you supply to a farmer such input, it is of no use to him.
Okay.
And they did it deliberately. The production package must ensure that all inputs are supplied to the farmers in the month of March, highest in the month of April. They have everything on hand. And the cash that is supposed to be given for the payment of labor should be given in first disbursement. I know definitely there was never an incident whereby cash is given. Mostly is the input, but the timely supply or provision of input.
But why would you say that it was deliberately delayed? Like, if the government is trying to boost local production and ensure food security, why would it sabotage its own effort by giving out this input?
When this program came in, we put a suggestion to the government that any developed nation or developing country that is implying such kind of a program, you must involve EFCC, you must involve the Department of State Services, so that, for instance, the maize farmers and the rice farmers, after collecting all the data of the beneficiaries, there must be an organized workshop so that people from EFCC will come. You should know that this money is not a national cake. It's a loan that after production there must be a recovery. Anybody who diverted such funds is going to face the law. Put that fear in their mind. But there was never any workshop or any program that calls the farmer, calls the intervention of all these kind of people, the EFCC and the DSS, to inform the farmer this money is not a national cake. It is not distributed freely. After a certain period of time, after production, you must recover this money either in cash or by selling of your own produce. Had it been that the government had set up an avenue whereby before the commencement or before the disbursement of any commodity or any agricultural input, such agencies were under effective monitoring and supervision of what is going on, this thing would not have happened. People came into Anko borrowers just to get money in order to go and get campaign. One unfortunate incident is that if you go by the history, it's one of the farmers union that even bought a ticket to Emifile. All these complaints that the nation we are in, we cannot produce sufficient maize that we can be food secured. The prices of maize is 60,000 naira in the market. With the injection of 1.1 to 1.9 trillion naira, Nigeria would have gone far beyond this. We shouldn't have been crying that there is no food in the country. The price of maize should be as cheap as 7,000 naira. That is the essence of establishing this kind of a program.
So it's like we are the architects of...
We are the architect of all these problems. Then secondly, you make this disbursement. There was no effective monitoring and supervision. Whenever you are advancing any agricultural loan, each and every phases of production has to be monitored. But virtually 90% of the beneficiaries of this program did not even invest their money into their farmlands. What they do was that if it is rice farmers, they wait when the rice season is under harvest, then they went into the market to just purchase some certain number of bags of rice, then bring it to show that they are the producers of rice. If it is maize farmers, they don't invest that loan given to them into maize farming. They await for the end of the harvesting season to just go into the market or a risky market to source for maize to come and show that it is part of their production. Had it been that this program is implemented judiciously, Nigeria wouldn't have been complaining of food shortage by this time around. One funny thing is that out of the 100% of our silos, federal government silos, not even up to 2% are having grains now. And from what we are seeing now, the production, virtually off-takers, the companies have even started collecting maize at this point in time. Because they forecasted at a point in time when the harvest is on, the prices of maize will never go down. And this is very true. We shouldn't expect the price of all agricultural commodities to come down. We have wasted this money. Some certain percentage of individual stole everything in the detriment of others. So, right from the implementation phase, there was a failure. Whenever you are organizing such kind of loan advancement, after collection the list of all beneficiaries, you call them for a workshop. Call all these relevant security agencies to call their attention that this is not a national cake and you should invest it judiciously. After taking the mapping, the farm location, each and every farmer has his own biodata. Take a visit, regular visit on every aspect of his own production to ensure that these inputs are being used judiciously. But whenever any association is distributing inputs, by the site, buyers are already there. We failed right from the inception of the program. If it is fertilizer, the 3 bags, fertilizer buyers are already there. If it is water pump buyers are already there. If it is agrochemical, they are already there. A farmer gave an equity contribution of 5,000 or 7,000. A bag of fertilizer is given to him maybe at the rate of 12,000, 20,000. He is slashing the price down to amounting to 5,000 naira so that he can solve his immediate need. That was why the system is just a mere Uncle Boros program. It has recorded some extent of success, but the failure is much, much higher. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a quick break now, and when we resume, you can begin to call us on 08028 111738 to give your contribution and this quite shocking revelation. Stay tuned. Come back. It's still Viewpoint reaching you live from the services of Progress Television International, and we have been discussing with Dr. Abubakar Sani Abdullahi, who is a lecturer from ABU Zaria and an agricultural extension worker, I believe. And we've been discussing about the Uncle Boros program with him. The latest directive from President Bola Tinubu is that the whole 577 billion naira defaulted loan should be recovered before 18th September. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
What's your name and where you're calling us from?
Thank you very much. My name is Omar Gurama. Kindly welcome Dr. to the studio.
Thank you very much.
He has said everything. I think our major problem in this country is we have a disease or a syndrome, kleptomania syndrome, that everybody is only thinking about money. So any policy that is going to be given towards improving the situation of the country, people look at it from the money advantage and benefit from it. So instead of following the system through its own regulations and processes, we could compromise anything. So the issue of Uncle Boros, to be honest with you, as he rightly said, right from the inception of the policy, it became a dead policy. It's a blind policy. It has not solved any problem. Barry made a statement one time during that period by the intention of his government to diversify the economy towards agriculture. You cannot diversify agriculture of a country with a population of over 200 million on a peasant subsistence farming. We as a farmer that we country. It's not possible. Why can't we try as much as we could to make sure that the agricultural sector has been a kind of there has to be a lot of technology involved in the agricultural point that we will work towards producing the mass production of a resource of you don't wait decent small holder farmer to feed the nation. It's not possible. Our problem is everything is politicized. Even going to toilet in Nigeria is politicized. If you are in Nigeria, common ordinary Nigeria, going to toilet is for you to start giving a political interpretation. So it seems like as if we are not even serious about that. Mechanized farming is the solution, as I wanted to say.
Okay.
Mechanized farming is the solution. Just to be open up. So even if we are going to fund companies or individuals who have resources, then they should take the loan, clear places whereby they will go ahead on mechanized farming. That will solve the problem.
All right. Thank you.
As a doctor of that, he definitely knew what he was saying. It's just the truth of the matter. That 500
we need to give room for other callers. Alajugra, I'm really sorry to cut you short. But I said we need to give room for other callers. I'm sorry to cut you short, but I believe we've gotten your contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You proposed mechanized farming.
Yeah, mechanized farming is the solution. Any advanced country or any developed country, an advocate for mechanized farming has to be in place.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Farouk.
Morning. What's your name and where calling us from?
Morning, my name is Mr. Saji. I'm calling from Tumfre and welcome your guest on the platform.
All right, thank you. In a few seconds, what's your contribution?
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. That's what we are looking for. In this aspect, just like your guest mentioned, I witnessed it in one of the states here in the Northeast. About 4 billion naira disposed for these Anko brewers. They went to some other neighboring states and obtained rice and set a permit in their state and take the picture and take it to Mr. President, former President, that this is what they harvested in their state. While their state have never instead people harvested a rice. Policy. That is why I used to say government is invented not by mediocres. Government are invented by intellectuals. They should be allowed, like these technocrats you are against these ideas that you suggested. You give somebody farm, you have never visited his farm. You don't know where is the location of his farm, and he say he's coming. That's not what we used to experience in those days. In those days, if you are giving a loan, even just a seed, you are giving a seed, your farm will be a record. Your farm should be visited regularly to harvest, and even the date of the harvest. I witness it in many areas of our aspect of our life. So at least, in my own point of view, the government should allow this type of technocrats we are against in the studio to at least come in with their ideas, not political ideas. Political ideas have not taken us anywhere in this aspect of our regard. Allow the technocrats to work it out, work the modalities, you are going to succeed. But when you give it as a gesture or a charity to your members of your political party, I think we are not going to harvest anything. We are not going to get it right. This time around, the measures Mr. President is about to take, or is taking now, I think it's a welcome development. But I think going on, for government to employ the technocrats in that aspect. Coming to the issue of farm, we are tired of farming. Those days like our forefathers have did. Shimon Perez said agriculture is 95% science, only 5% is work. I think that is realistic. Agriculture, that is why it's called agricultural science. It's 95% science. But we are still in these days, in these ancient days of farming. That will not take us to anywhere. We are not liberating the dry season farming. We have more water in Nigeria. Nigeria is bordering the ocean. Everywhere is down, but we are not liberating the dry season farming. I think it is a wake-up call for our government to do the so that we can meet this target of food security in our country, Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless our country,
Thank you.
Nigeria.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Saji, and you can still call us on 08028111738. Before we, all right, let me take this call and then we'll round up. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Progress.
Morning. What's the name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Mr. Ghana, so I'm calling you from Jakarta.
Thank you for calling. What's your contribution?
I greet my guy in the studio here. May God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
You see, the initiative of this Uncle Borowa is a good initiative. It's a good program. But this failure of it failed in the north. So I don't believe that they will give somebody fertilizer, insecticide, pump machine. He will sell that thing around there and take the money to go and remarry again. He will buy big handset. He will buy unnecessary things that will never help him in his life and his own children in the future. I will say that we want to move forward. The North is blessed with the vast land that we can feed the nation, even export to the foreign countries. But our selfish interest, our love of fashion, is what is giving us poverty today, insecurity, and we are blaming the government. Who is to be blamed? You that squander the money, or the government that give you the money? If those people that they give in millions, meet them today, they cannot even provide 10,000 of their own. That is people I watched the video. The money shared by Osip and Joe as a trader money as them. In the other region, you have paid women. They are now almost hundreds of thousands. It's not their problem today. Meaning they utilize the fund in the rightful way. Meet those in the north here. Why is that trader money? Some of them cannot produce 10,000. We just see it as national cake. Instead of us to capitalize and utilize on it to move forward our lives, we are squandering it. If people will be in prison for this money, oh my God, I think our prison in Nigeria will not even take us. Because some of them, they don't have anything to show that they benefited from that program. What am I saying here?
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Ghana Solo, and that's all we can take on Peking Calls this morning. We run out of time, but I have just two quick questions for you, if you can answer them in a few seconds.
Yeah.
The first is regarding the risk. You made mention of the RRR criteria, 3 R's to be considered. And the risk, there's the issue of natural disasters.
Yeah.
When someone collects the farm inputs and then there's natural disaster and he cannot account for what he has collected, maybe the farm got washed away either by flood or insect, or perhaps an act of God, and then there's not enough produce. So where does he falls under this program regarding how does he make up for the repayments? Is there any provision in the program too?
Right from the inception of the program, that was why in the first place the uncles or the off-takers are brought on board. Let us take for instance like here in Gombe, we have these flour mills of Nigeria. They are part of the uncles, I know definitely. All they do was that any maize that is being produced, they give a certain price so that they can offtake that commodity. They process it into semovita, they process it into poultry feeds, they process it into complex. Like for maize alone, they can process it into 10 to 20 consumable products. So had it been that this program is well organized, there must be an avenue whereby National Agricultural Insurance Corporation, NAIC, will come in. Agriculture is attributed to risk and uncertainties. We have floods, disaster, maybe at the time the rain is ceased earlier than expected. We observed a certain period of a dry spell whereby the grains could not even meet up to maturity stage. So had it been that this agency, NAIC, agricultural insurance, is there in place, record of true farmers are there. That is why right from inception, each and every farmer has to be ensured that he has an existing farmland. Because at the mapping, I will just take you to my brother's farmland. Exactly. After taking the picture and everything, just to get to be enrolled. It's not a true farmer. If you take out the mapping of a realistic farmer, any farmer, any farmland to be visited, there must be a supporting staff from NAIC in order to give that insurance cover. This farmer is planting maize with 2.5 hectares of land. It is already there in the record. Regular visit of the activities that is being carried out has to be monitored by this NAIC officer. In case of crop failure, he has the record.
Exactly.
But it is not there in place.
Okay. Next question. In a few seconds, the statement by the president.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to recover this loan between in the time
it's
and also like with the effect it might have on the people?
It's very, very possible, because the leaders that chaired the chairmanship and headed these associations has to be called on board. In the right place, the disbursement is not there in place. It has been diverted mostly into their own pockets. Those that engage into active politics has to be called on board. The investment that they have made, mansions and palaces they have built, has to be recovered. The small scale farmers, their BVN record is there. If you are a salary earner, any amount that goes into your own account has to be held by the bank. But the leaders who chaired and run this program must be questioned and must be held responsible for this. So it is very, very possible.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you very much.
Sani Abdullahi, an agricultural extension worker.
Agricultural economist.
An agricultural
and food security expert.
Food security expert also from the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Thank you so much for your input, and we'll reserve the courtesy to invite you again next time to join us on the platform. Umar Farooq Ahmad, have a nice day ahead.
Thank you.
Our number one international Progress TV. Your number one international Progress TV. My number one international Progress TV. Number one.